from a video game called The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. And also, how many of you guys watched Free Guy? Okay, that's one of the best movies based on video games. The first topic is gameplay. So what is gameplay? It's the core of any game design.
Okay.
So it governs the rules about how you interact with the game world. A good gameplay should be engaging, challenging, and it should not be too difficult. And there's no game mechanics. So these are the building blocks of a video game. So there are different types of game mechanics, like movement mechanics, like how you jump, sprint, or run around the entire game, and combat mechanics. Combat mechanics really depends on the genre of the video game that you're playing. Like if it's a shooter, then it can be about guns and recoil speeds and stuff like that. And then we have narrative mechanics, which is completely based off of the story games, where if you can skip the cutscenes or the dialogues, and those come under the narrative mechanics. And then you have puzzle mechanics, which are not really important for all video games, but there are video games like Siva here, which was a complete puzzle game, which was really great. Then game world. So game world is the environment which is completely based off of the video game, and it's the entire place that you interact with, and it's how do you create a game world. So it completely depends upon the story. It could be, if it's it could be a fantasy world, then the story would be based off of a fantasy world, and then the game world should be completely focused off of the game, all of the game mechanics that are available. So game storytelling is a really crucial part of any video game that we're talking about, but it really depends on the genre that we're saying. Like, how many of you guys played Minecraft? So that doesn't need a story. But there's also a video game called The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom. Those who have story, but they don't completely focus on it. The main aspect of such video games are exploration, which is a completely open world video game. Character design. So there's not even a single game which doesn't have characters. Like even in games called Tetris, I would consider the blocks as characters. So characters are a crucial part of any video game. And there's one next one. Animation and sound. So the first part, let me explain about the first part here. So that could be, the animation could be either 2D or 3D, but the 2D animation, 2D video games are so rare these days, but there are some Nintendo games which are 2D. But talking about 3D, there are really great AAA games which has really good animation. And about sound, if it has a story, then that could be voice lines or background music and stuff like that. And coming to the main part, the coding involved. So game developers use programming languages like C, C++, and Java, but C++ is widely used. And they also need to use certain software called game engines. So game engines, like some examples of game engines are Unity, Unreal Engine, and Godot. So Unreal Engine is one of the highly advanced game engines where you could create, where most of the AAA games are created, and games created in such in Unreal Engine are pretty realistic. And these are some of the video games that I personally like. So how many of you guys have played at least one, except Minecraft? Okay, so can you list what video games that you played? And with that I conclude my presentation.